Hello everyone, it's Christine here and it is Thrifty Thursday plus a sweet little happy mail that I want to share with you. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I've got some goodies from the Sewing Lair. I've got the happy mail, and then I've got a bag of goodies from the purveyor of reclaimed textiles, which have been collected over many months and which I picked up a few weeks ago but haven't yet shown you, and I haven't yet put them away, but I do want to start popping some things in some of my works. So let's start with this lovely little happy mail. This is from one of my lovely subscribers, Denise. It came a few weeks ago. Denise contacted me saying she'd been given some scraps of fabric, I think from a friend, and within that there was a beautiful black Labrador, and did I want that to include in one of my works, because I'm working on my heirloom family quilt at the moment. And so yeah, this beautiful card came from Denise. She knows that I love birds, so it was just perfect for me. Even the envelope is absolutely gorgeous. I won't show you the envelope because it's got Denise's address on it and mine. And so Denise says, "Hi Christine, because you just can't send one piece of fabric, I thought a few birds you may be able to use, and everyone needs some fairies in their life. Happy stitching, Denise." And so just so thoughtful. As those of you who watch often know that I talk a lot about Travis, the black Labrador, and aren't these just lovely little ones, and perfect colours for my heirloom family quilt, because I have the greens and the browns, and obviously I have Travis. I don't know if I've got my Travis stitched piece anywhere near me here. I thought I had it sitting up on here, but I can't see it. Oh no, there it is. Let me just grab that down. Something will probably fall down on my head. A few things are falling down, but that's okay. So this is my stitched black Labrador. So all of those are tiny little stitches. But there's a video on that. I'll try and remember to link to that. So yeah, that will go beautifully when I'm attaching that onto the quilt. So in fact, I'll probably put this up there, and yeah, clip it with that. And then these are some of the beautiful Australian birds, which I just love. Isn't that beautiful? Little woolly wagtail. I adore those. Here's some of the fairies. Aren't they lovely? And with blackberries, which I've enjoyed stitching recently, so I'll have to find something. They'd be lovely just to even put in like a little needle book or something. Just have them on the little pages, even the little snippets of them as well. And then another beautiful bird. And the lovely thing about these designs is it kind of gives you inspiration. If you wanted to do a sort of an applique piece with different bits of fabric, you can kind of think about the different parts where you'd use bits of applique. So it is great to look at other designs. So those are the lovely gifts from Denise. I'll put the little birdies back in here. And then on to the Sewing Lair. So I got an order. I mainly actually got the order because they had these DMC thread bobbins with a ring that they can go on, and they had a bunch of them. I think I got the 8 that they had in stock when I saw them, and the price of them was like a quarter of them their retail price. They were still all in their packages, so I just could not resist that, and I've already just had a go, got one of them opened, and yeah, they work really well. I've previously made my own cardboard ones, but when I saw these ones I thought, yeah, these would be hard wearing. It's not a single-use plastic in the sense that I'm going to use these over time, and wouldn't it be great just to put the threads that I'm using for a particular project on the metal thing. What's this called? Loop. And it's one of those metal loops that opens up by and you try not to stab your finger like I just did there. So that's a very handy little one. So I've got a whole bunch of those, which should last me, I think, to put most of my my threads on, because I figure I've got a lot of threads that are not yet opened up, but once I open them and use them, it's good to wind them on. Otherwise they do tend to form a bit of a mess, or a cross between a nest. And then they had these beading needles, which always come in handy, and a little threader for them as well. This almost looks like I don't know if it's a more vintage packet, but the needles look like they're still in good nick. Made in Japan. Wow. Nice. So yeah, I'll pop that over with my needles, and that just came in this little gift bag. Didn't purchase the bag, but that will come in handy. So pop that in for a wash. And then I love these little bundles that the Sewing Lair puts together. Either they've received them in this form, so 2.5 inch by 100, or they've cut them up, I'm not sure, but possibly someone had them in their little patchworking collection. So I'll just give you a quick look through. Usually there's a few duplicate items. I'm trying my camera on a slightly different angle for tonight. We'll see how it goes. So some nice yellow. So it's just a great way to get a really good variety of different, but getting some that are coordinating as well, particularly if someone's already sort of thought through a bit of their coordination when they've been cutting their pieces. It's lovely. It's a very sort of dense weave. Beautiful little designs on those. So these size make great little hexies, for example. Isn't that cute? Little dinosaurs. Is that like wings of something maybe? Or flowers? Not sure. They're nice designs, aren't they? Oh, there's quite an amount of that, which is good. Sometimes interesting trying to guess what the design is. That going to be sharks or something maybe? Let's see if we can confirm. Maybe that's the only piece. It's a mystery. It's a mystery unless we find any more. But I think that looks like maybe a shark. More of that lovely one. Some more dinosaurs. Oh, isn't that nice? That's got a sort of an embossed on it. And then some of these little ones. They almost look quite vintage, the little gingham style. Oh, look at that little teddy bear. A little patchwork teddy bear. It's very sweet. I can almost put together a whole teddy bear with that. I just have to applique my pieces together. Could probably get another teddy bear out of this one too. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice colour for my vintage heirloom quilt, actually. So I might keep that one out. And then some nice whites, some more yellows, some beautiful green spots. That's another good colour, actually, for my vintage heirloom. Isn't that lovely? Floral design. There's a good few pieces of that. A nice blue with flowers on it, like flowers floating in the air. Almost like a little watercolour. Hedgehog. That's cute. I'd use the little hedgehog in something. Little raspberry. Oh, is that a little rabbit? Isn't that sweet? I'd have to keep him out. I've got something I'm thinking of for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I might use him in there. You never know. Oh, I think that's like Frozen, isn't it? That's one of the Frozen characters. If I had kids, I'd probably be able to sing you that, because people with young kids, young girls have, I think, listened to that many times, but I can't even think what the main character's called. Is it E something? That's beautiful. Almost reminds me of feathers. It'd be great if you were doing a bird or something. And then some nice pink. So very happy with that little bundle. I'll put that over with my little scrap selection. And then there was this, which is a fabric basket design with all the instructions, all the pieces. So I am thinking it might be something we do together in the lead up to Christmas, because it's a Christmas basket. But who knows, I might even keep it in my craft room and just keep things stored in it year round. I don't know when it's from, because again, this is all vintage from the Sewing Lair. It's a VIP screen print, Cranston Printworks Co. It's called Keepsake Crafts Rag Basket, and it's got all of the instructions. So if I do it, even though it's someone else's design, I think I can probably still do it on video, putting it together, and I can probably measure and tell you the dimensions of it. And if you wanted to sort of mock up your own design version, you'd be able to do it. I'm assuming it would normally be put together with a sewing machine, but I'd be doing it by hand, because it's sort of got instructions for top stitch. But it doesn't look too complicated. I think it's kind of got some essentially one piece of fabric that runs around the outside, and I don't know if it gets stuffed possibly as well. Yeah. And then it's got the handle, and then it's got the bows, which is what that bit, this fabric is. So yeah. Oh, that's the handle. Yep, that's the bows. That's the basket. And then it's got two different base selections, either a oval one or a round one. So I think I will definitely take my own little pattern off it, because then I'll be able to make both a round one and an oval one. So that's the base top, and that's the top base bottom and the edge for turning. So yeah, I think that'll be a fun activity. This is definitely something that no one has ever used, this piece. They've probably had it in their collection, which means now that it's in my collection, I should definitely make sure I make use of it. So we'll keep that out as a prompt that I need to do that. And then I just got some other little bits of fabric, which are usually $1 or $2. Or sometimes they come in little bundles. I can't remember if this was a bundle. So this would just be, I think, like a fat eighth, and it's even got a little bit nibbled out of the end. But I liked it because it almost looked a bit sort of like a trellis design with little flowers on it. So I thought that was quite sweet. So after the video's finished, I'll pop all those onto their little, wrap them around their little postcards and put them away in my fabric drawers sorted by colour. This is a wonderful colour for my Roxy Journal, Roxy Journal of Stitchery Treasure Hunt, my family heirloom quilt. It looks like a Moda fabric. I'm just having a look if I can see a selvage on it, but I can't. So not sure. Again, we'll fold that up afterwards. This one would have been great when we were doing, but it could even actually be good because I think ours are in winter as well, aren't they? And so at the moment for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, we've got a winter visitor. So maybe I could, because I've already done it on one of our antique stitcheries from the Briggs catalogue from the 1800s, but potentially I could even put this with that maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have a think. So I might keep that one out as well. And then this one looks almost like a feed sack fabric, but I don't think it is. It's probably a replica one, but I'm sure I've got some little feed sack scraps that are similar. So yeah, I think this is a fat eighth, but just lovely vintage look. And then another lovely blue. I think these blues might have been a pack together. Another fat eighth. Let's put my little ones over there. So that's nice. And then another beautiful blue, another fat eighth. So yeah, I think this was a little blue pack. No selvages on them, so unfortunately I can't tell you the name, and these could well be sort of 30, 40 years old. I've had plenty of very vintage erring into antique fabrics from the sewing lair, which I just love because it's things that you won't necessarily see anyone else working with. And then this one's a beautiful fine floral, just nice soft colours. And again, when you get them from the sewing lair, you're potentially going to have little pieces sort of nibbled out of them, or in this case I think there's, oh no, this piece is still joined. But it's quite enough fabric to use for slow stitching, so it's perfect for that. And this one's lovely. This one does have tea time large, I assume floral. Let's see if it's got any more selvage information on it. Yes, it does, and it's got lovely little. So 100% cotton, something UK, I think, but that's all that I've got. But maybe tea time large floral would help you track that one down. And that's, yeah, really lovely. So that was my little sewing lair purchase, which I mainly did because I wanted to get those DMC wraps for threads. Now we'll move on to the bundle of goodies that I got from Purveyor of Reclaimed Textiles. So I collect these up over many months. Melanie has an Instagram channel where every day she's posting items sort of throughout the day, and whoever posts sold on them gets them, and she's happy to stash them sort of up for you. And then if you're somewhere where you need postage, she can arrange postage. I'm talking about Australia. You'd probably need to get in contact with her to discuss international. But she has really interesting vintage and sometimes antique loveliness. I just love toiles. And I think these were, she said, sample panels, but really, really beautiful design. Love the trees and the vines, and I love anything with a dog, really. And then the nice animals up here. I can smell a slight mothbally smell, so that one might end up needing a wash, but it's not overwhelming, but possibly it has been stored with something else that had mothballs. Now these, I'm sure I would have seen birds in them, and I've just decided I had to have it. And it's a really beautiful fabric. It's, I think, probably a Japanese fabric. I can't see any selvage on it, but it feels absolutely lovely. So more birds on the back. It's nice to have lots of birds to select from. Something like that would just be beautiful, just to kind of have that scene on something. Again, I'll just make a pile over here. This one is a Robert Kaufman, pretty as a pansy screen print, made in Japan. And these are beautiful little, I guess they'd be labels, wouldn't they? To put on things. So there's another one over there, and there's this one over here, and then it's got the beautiful border piece, and then another border piece, and then this piece. So I don't know if it's made to do a particular project. I guess you could do a lovely like a lovely wrap, a container or a nest. And then these could even go on the outside, and that could be the inside of the nest. And then maybe you could do some little stitcheries in there, or each of these could be turned into lovely little cards. And then maybe, yeah, possibilities. I do want to get organised for 2025 and have little stitched cards ready for some of the people in my life, rather than quickly rushing to make a little stitched card. So that might give me some impetus. A sweet little embroidery. It looks like someone was starting work on it, so it probably needs to be finished, but it's like a little bookmark. A beautiful one, which is, if I turn it up the right way, beautiful birds. So you know me, can't resist a bird, and it's someone's lovely stitchery, just on a regular calico, but with a beautiful luminous like pearl thread. And I just love the two little kissing birds. So I think this one will end up going on my my quilt, my family quilt. I think it's very, very sweet. So I might just put that down to the ground down here as I go through. Here. Now this one, I could go on my on my family quilt. I think I've got a few other horse. I won a few horse vintage doilies in a recent, I think it was another one of the Instagram sellers that sells things on a set day of the week, and whoever gets in quick enough. And I was lucky enough to get some actually stitched horse embroideries. But my brother and sister-in-law and my nephews and nieces, they absolutely love horses, so I've been a bit on the lookout for horsey things. But I think this one's even beautiful just as a line drawing. But yeah, it would be beautiful to stitch as well. I think I just love that it's got the flowers and the horse and the horseshoe. I think it's very pretty. So I will put that with my heirloom quilt, but whether that one gets stitched, I'm not sure. And then this one I'm thrilled about. I don't think Melanie mentioned that it was Liberty. So it's Liberty exclusive design, Paradiso, VAT colours, made in England. So she said they were samples at the time, I think linen samples, and I didn't even appreciate just how large it was as well. I just saw the bird. And saw that it was a beautiful linen-y colour with this lovely outline. But how beautiful is that? And it's all hemmed around the edges. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was probably a sample for maybe a furnishing fabric or something. But there's another lovely bird down here. as well. So I'm seriously in love with that. I'm not sure whether this one will be able to be cut up or whether it might be turned into maybe a project bag or something. I just think it's absolutely delightful. I might even just have it on display as well. I'm going to have to look it up actually, so I might keep that one out because I do want to research that a little bit. This one I would have been thinking about the quilt because this sort of goldy colour and this French emblem I think will be lovely. So this is a beautiful, just a vintage sort of towel, probably a hand towel I think, but just beautiful stitching. Has got a little bit of wear on the stitching, has probably been used as a hand towel maybe, but I think even the edging is delightful as well. So I will probably end up cutting that to put onto my quilt, but then it's lovely linen for the rest of it, and I'll have the other edge to use as well. And even if I just cut this sort of section, then I'll have these other bits of edging, although I might put it on like this and then add some other things over the top, do that lovely layering. Lots of possibilities. Or I can also, with the quilt, always add things on in their entirety and then add things over the top as well, so that is a possibility. This one, I'm sure I'm probably was thinking again of the family heirloom quilt. Love the little hearts, and it's quite an old piece I think. And I think this is filet work, isn't it? But it's just lovely, and I could just use one of these for example, or I could use it along as a bit of a border section in my quilt, which I definitely have to get into, so this will also spur action. This one I adore. You don't immediately see it, but it's got sweet little rabbits floating through the air. How lovely is that? Reminds me of little sort of Miffies. So I very much like that. I don't know if even that might be if this might be a Liberty print. It doesn't feel like a Liberty, but it is so sweet. So that might have to go with my Easter fabrics. This one I got for the quilt. It's a lovely tapestry piece made in France. Oops, you can't see the made in France. Made in France. And again, it's the perfect colours for my quilt. I love that it's got a castle, it's got two lovers. So yeah, might put that on in the Alex and Christine. Not that we've ever looked like that. We've never dressed up like that, but we have ridden through countryside. In fact, funny memories of riding through countryside and suddenly getting caught in a rain shower and riding through these muddy things with the bikes. The bikes slipping, and Alex I think got a little bit grumpy. So funny memories that we can laugh at. But that was around where all the chateaux around Bois. So that will go on the quilt. Some trims. I can never resist vintage trims. I like this nautical theme. My uncle is quite nautically inclined. It's probably not quite the right colours for my heirloom quilt though, so that will probably just go into my trims collection. A lovely little one. Looks like maybe someone's turned it into a little bookmark or something, I'm not sure. But that's very sweet. There's this one. Lovely pinks and greens. I just love these tapestry style trims. And then a very sweet little strawberry one. Isn't that lovely? It is probably a synthetic, but just very sweet, very vintage. And again, proving that I can't resist trims. Another nice little skerrick of a trim, and then this card of which I would have been attracted to because I just love different rickracks. So this lovely small format blue, this beautiful pink. That's it feels quite starchy, or maybe it's just got a little coating on it. A white. I've got my beautiful Nana's green, but that's a different green, and then there's a bit of gimp in there, brown gimp, and a nice pale blue. A red, and then this burgundy would actually be super for my family heirloom quilt, so I might just take that one off the card and put it with my quilty goodies. That's the trick I'm finding, just kind of accumulate everything all in one box, so that when I do get the quilt out I can just start attaching things. And then some lovely other gimps. That's a beautiful detailing on that one, and that's quite a fine one as well. So I'll put that over with the trims because they go to a separate part in the craft room. Here is some lovely part of, I imagine, probably a sham, like a pillow sham this one was, but it's quilted and it's quite sweet and just lovely to have these quilted pieces to use. It's probably not, I don't think it's like a vintage quilted pillow. It's probably a more over recent decades. So that will be, I might give that a wash actually. And then actually I need to leave these with the other ones because there's a few matching ones. This is another sort of toile type fabric. Which way up? This way up. And again, I think I would have been attracted because I saw a little boy with the dog. So I think that's very, very sweet. Oh, another dog on there as well. Oh, and another boy with a dog. So isn't that lovely? So that might make it into the quilt as well. I'm not generally putting blacks on, but maybe a little bit would be okay. Now these next ones are rather lovely. So Mel put them on progressively over different days, and I think I picked up the first one, and then when I saw the other ones I thought, yep, I'm going to have those as well. Who knows if there were some others that I didn't spot because I only periodically look at Mel's page, so it's just what other people haven't looked at that point. But I would have seen the beautiful birds on this, and I just love the fact it looks like an applique piece, but it's actually just a printed fabric. But it'd be the perfect thing to then stitch on and into to really, create a beautiful piece. So I just think this is lovely, and I saw the colours and thought, yep, definitely the maroon and the green and the gold are perfect for my heirloom family quilt. So I was thinking of that when I got the first one, and then I proceeded to get other ones as well. So this one was a double one. Actually, it probably wasn't sold double, but it was probably attached at the time. And so the brand is Roberts Baltimore Album 2005. So what are we now? 2024. So 20 years old. So yeah, you probably wouldn't find this in the shops anymore. But they're almost like, I guess, still lifes or, applique forms of still lifes. So who knows? They could come in very, very handy for upcoming projects. I just love them. But I think some of these will, even though the blues aren't really the colour that go with my family heirloom quilt, I do think the other colours are quite good, and probably the pinks I might change up. But the thing is, you could always do some changing up by stitching over some of the pieces as well. So there's another beautiful one. And each of them are different, even though they look very, very similar. Another lovely one with strawberries and pineapple and a beautiful vase. A lovely basket. Now that one could probably definitely, because all I'd have to change up is the bow and that. So I think that one could definitely go into my family heirloom quilt. And then this must be like the cover one, the album. So I don't know if these were meant to be made into like a little photo album or something. So I'll put them all down with my quilt, but know that I might sort of, keep some for some other purposes. And then this would have been another one of the fabric samples, and let's just see first of all what it is. It's called Thebes. Yep, for curtains, decorative upholstery, bedspreads. 100% cotton. A design by John Baptiste Huet, originally dated was around 1805. Our document in the Baker archives was plate printed at Douai. So I think in France, isn't that? And it has an amazing design on it. And again, I just didn't appreciate quite how much fabric I was getting, because I think Mel puts it on in sort of inches, and I just don't really deal in inches. So I just generally go on, do I like the design? And I know her prices are always very, very fair, but I just loved these little designs. I'd just not seen a fabric like that, and it really does feel lovely. It almost feels like a linen, even though it's a cotton. So that can be put in my special collections. Again, that would be even beautiful, sort of framed up or used as a cover or something. This little one, it's quite cute. Again, almost like little still lifes, little houses. So quite sweet. And again, these could just be cut out and stitched onto a card as well. So I might even put those over with my other little cardy ones. Put that over there. Still got quite a bit in the bag, so hopefully you're not flagging. As I say, I do accumulate these over many months, and I was good this year and didn't go to this most recent time didn't go to the Embroiderers Guild D-Stash, because I knew I had this bag of goodies awaiting for me at Mel's. So again, the birds would have got me in on this, but I think the colours would have also captured me, because they are kind of the tones I'm going with for the family heirloom quilt. So I'll put that one down. Sorry, I should show you the whole piece. I'd probably only end up using like one or maybe a couple of these spread around. It is sometimes nice to have those repeating elements. Again, this would be lovely for the current Roxy Journal of Stitchery, a winter visitor. So that's a possibility as well, although I have got a piece picked out that I want to use for this one. And because I want to get to quilting my quilt and also Christmas crafting, I'm probably not going to do a really complicated one this time around. This one is Secret Garden by Robin Pandolf for Moda. And so beautiful, soft pinks. Christy, I reckon this would be one that's right up your alley. My friend Christy from Sew Bits Christy. And this one's had a little bit nibbled out of it, but I reckon that's possibly from another Moda fabric. And then what have we got? Just pulling things randomly out of the bag. This is part of it. It's got some staining down here, but it's got some lovely crinoline ladies on it. So I thought that was a bit of fun, and it must be from like a table runner or something. Again, a bit of staining up there. I will probably, I think, put this one into the wash just to see if the stains come out, but I'd probably just be using sections of this. But even the edging is a lovely cotton lace. So I'll pop that down for a wash. Here, a lovely fabric, almost reminds me of a really ornate sort of wallpaper. Again, these flowers could be lovely just to kind of fussy cut out or to use sections of this. Pulling things out, just a little bit of trim, put that over with my trims. This one reminds me of like an oversized vintage hanky, but it's just, yeah, I love it. Probably would have been maybe a cushion panel or something. But yeah, I just thought the design was really nice. And you can kind of think through different things you might kind of, yeah, make with these. Either use just sections of them or to, yeah, use them in their whole. And then this one, again, got quite a vintage feel and probably would have picked it out, I think, for the colours. It's almost a slightly more pinky than a maroony, but I think that can go down into my quilt, because even just using a little bit of, sometimes these little border ones are just lovely to incorporate, or even using this as a border running along. So I'll pop it down there. This is a funny one, because I am sure I saw someone on Facebook Marketplace selling this entire quilt, and then I'd messaged them saying, oh, I'm interested, and then they said, oh no, sorry, it's sold. And then the next day I saw Melanie selling sections of the quilt, and I'd actually taken a screenshot of the other quilt, and I'm like, I'm sure that's the same quilt. But it's a beautiful, and the person that was selling it said that it was a quilt from America, and these do look like feed cloth fabrics. So I had to get a panel of it, and Melanie's obviously very good at getting in for the sale. I think I will give it a wash. I thought that was a stain for a moment, but I think it's just a very faded fabric, because I can see a blue there, And I reckon this, and maybe this is even what's underneath, because I think this is almost thread worn through actually. So I reckon it's probably, and in fact I can see a bit of yellow coming through there. So I reckon this piece is probably pieced underneath here. Let's have a little peek. Can't sort of see that far up, but it definitely does have, yeah, it does have age in this quilt, and it is hand quilted. You can tell that by the stitches, and yeah, you can definitely see it's been well used over the years. So I'm not sure if Mel would have given it a wash if she got them up the next day, so I might give that a wash myself. This one's beautiful fabric. I love that it's got little flashes of gold on it. I can't see a selvage for you. Just keep going through because you'll probably get bored. Our lovely little teacups. We've been doing teacup stitcheries as part of our 1800 stitchery, but I thought these were very, very sweet. I think they're lovely. Even some, I might even put this down with my quilt, because maybe just adding one of these, because my Nana and Grandpa always loved a cup of tea. That's why I did the other stitchery, tea for two. Love these little applique pieces, such lovely soft pastel tones on this one. So that will go into my doily collection. Actually, I might give that a wash as well. Looks pretty clean, but doesn't do any harm. Mel has lots of lovely quilty pieces, and I know she bought various quilts from the lady at one of the previous D-stashes that was selling her feed sack collection, and I saw this one and I thought it could well be from that. So beautiful hexagons, and these are lovely just to incorporate into needlebooks or pouches or other things. I love that it's even got the bits at the edge. But yeah, definitely old fabrics. I just love even looking at how they've been stitched and just how tiny, look how tiny some of those little stitches are. So we'll give that a gentle wash. This one's a beautiful colour, and I think I might keep it out actually to use in one of my vintage stitcheries or antique stitcheries from the Briggs catalogue. It's a really lovely colour, but might give it a wash first and then keep it out for stitching into. This one, just a beautiful white work, but such delicate little cherry blossom design, and lovely design here, lovely lace on the edges as well. So I'll give that a wash. This one, I think I was thinking of the Roxy Journal of Stitchery field notes when I got this one. Lovely acorns, which could be good if we got a sort of although the acorns are probably more autumn, aren't they? But who knows, I might still be able to use that, but I will give that a wash as well. Some vintage lace. Again, probably a elastane or something. I mean, it's not stretchy, but I think that's what they made the laces sort of out of for a period, because I've got others in my collection like that, but it's just such a beautiful design. There's probably some other lacy bits in there that I got all as a batch. And in fact, now this is very similar to that other toile design I had, which is, so I think it might just be in another colorway than that other toile design. Just looking for it now. I can't immediately, oh, there it is over there. So this one, no, not this one. This one? Yes, this one. There we go. Same, sorry, I'll put it where you can see it. Same dog, same person. But then this is a much larger piece of the actual fabric, and this is a fabric sample. So that's lovely. And so I get to see more of the actual design, and you get to see more of the design. So starting with this cottage and people dancing and a violin player, coming with the dog, the animals coming down. Got some kids or people playing some sort of maybe ball game. You've got people feasting and eating, another dog, and down, and then I think the design repeats because that's the violin player again down there. So that's a very sizable, lovely piece. It doesn't have the selvage on it. We've almost got the selvage, but no details, only an F or an E or a something. And I don't think the other one had anything written on the back, did it? Let's just check, because sometimes the samples do. No stickers on it. Next up, a lovely, probably was taken off a piece of clothing or something, but I thought that could be, again, beautiful to add to my family heirloom quilt. Let's put it down in that pile, reaching down into the bag. As well as loving sort of flowers and birds on doilies, I also love doors and arches and steps and again flowers, and this has one at each end, so really beautiful. And just look at the back, look how neat. Having tried to sort of emulate some of the antique embroideries, I am in awe of how neat the backs of many of them are, and it's on a beautiful linen, so that will again just get a gentle wash before I probably put that one away for storing and keeping as an inspiration for designs. This one, a bark cloth, I am pretty certain, and just a beautiful sort of mountain scene and then trees, and it does remind me a bit of Bright, which does have the beautiful autumn tree displays and the mountains, so I think I might put that for the quilt as well. This little one, this reminded me a bit of my lovely friend Leanne from Leanne's Crafty Cupboard. She does beautiful little stitcheries like this and adding beads and colouring things up. I think they've done this trapunto style where they've actually put different colours underneath the petals, which we did as part of our stitch along. But I just thought that was really sweet. So I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I'll probably actually just put it over here to look at for a bit. This is very starched up, so I probably don't need to, just giving it a smell test, it smells fine. So I'll probably just keep that as is. And it's a beautiful crinoline lady. Again, not a complex design, so something that I could definitely sort of emulate, I think. And that's what some of these are great for, because you can just look at the design and then copy it. So I might keep that one out because I wouldn't mind. And I know my friend Sally from Dotty B, she's been wanting to do she's got some patterns for crinoline ladies. This is a very old one. It says Glory Box Perfect Line Needlework. So I guess to be made for glory boxes. It's got quite a bit of discoloration on it. It's been partially done. So it's got the early bird, and it would have had these little, these are meant to be like little leaves, and so that's what the green's for. The reason I love it is because I love anything with a bird on. This bird's meant to have a little worm, I guess. So I thought this one would be lovely to finish. Now, I know some people say that when you wash them, you lose the actual design. I've not had that experience, and I am inclined to give this a little wash. What I might do is just do a little sample wash on this corner and just see if it does affect it. I would only ever do a very gentle hand wash anyway, but I just think that's a sweet little design. It's funny, I'm not sure if it should have actually had something up here for the tree. I think I'd be inclined to put a bit of a top on the tree over here, but I'll put it over there for a bit of a test wash. This is a gorgeous linen. I think I've got one of these that I'll be picking up from the lovely Gladian Flow. Gail from Gladian Flow. I got something similar with a little scene with a swan on it that I think also my friend Christy got one that I saw in her video the other day from So Bits Christy. But just beautiful. Look at that. Look how fine that work is. So again, just a gentle wash just to make sure things are clean before I put them away. This is just a piece of, oh no, I thought it was just a piece of linen, but no, it is not just a piece of linen. It is an amazing, how good would have this been for the butterfly field notes? Who knows, this might have to become a cover on my field notes, although I've got another one that I'm thinking of for the cover. So I think I'm going to have to keep this out and just ponder whether I do use it in my field notes in some way, because it is so fitting. Isn't that lovely? Lovely. Isn't it funny? You just forget, or sometimes, again, I don't think I appreciated quite the size that was. This one, tapestries. I just love the look of the tapestry fabrics, and I think I like this one because it had the font on it, it had the fruits, the flowers. I did think again probably when I was buying it, because I did collect over many months, I probably had the field notes journal in my mind. But they are almost like sort of, yeah, paintings or something. So I think they're quite lovely, and I think I probably again would have thought, yeah, these are the colours that would go quite well with my my quilt, so I will put those down with my quilt. There's plenty there. This one, which is like men's tops and then like writing over it, so that would go great in, at some point I'm going to do a vintage haberdashery type one. It is fab something, the gentle, probably the gentleman, fabscraps.com, YouTube. So maybe you can find them on YouTube. Don't run away just yet. Well, you can, of course. You can run away right now if you're bored of the finds. But I'm having fun, and I was the one that selected these, and I'm finding lovely surprises in the bag. And then this one must be another. Isn't this lovely? It's still on its original joined up piece. I don't know if someone's written on this themselves. Blanche Broderie. Because it almost looks like someone's written with a pen, or would have this been a transfer? Because that almost looks like it's drawn on. And then someone's done some of it in beautiful satin stitch and done some other bits, but there's bits unfinished. This one's fully done. I think it just needs probably a little bit of fixing up over there. But I kind of like this in its in its entirety piece. That's got a nice bit of history about someone, sort of work in progress. So I won't wash that one, I don't think, because that looks in fine condition. And then I don't really need any more crochet, but I am always looking for these. I've got a colour that I just absolutely adore, and this isn't exactly the colour that I adore, but I'm always looking for ones that are in the colour family. And so that's quite good for that. And in fact, this one would have attracted, I think this one's almost similar to the colour that I adore. So I would have got it for those, and then the others were just a bonus, but they're all only ever a few dollars. So I'll put those over with my crochet thread drawers and see which ones can fit in. Just going to pull the rest of the stuff out of the bottom of the bag so that I don't have to keep reaching over and almost headbutting the camera. I've just discovered something very exciting in the bottom, as you do. But this one is a beautiful little braid. I got some similar little braids from the lovely Chelsea, who had that amazing vintage lace collection. And this is similar to one of the little ones, and it's just gorgeous. Little blue sort of forget-me-nots. And then there's another one which has pink ones on it. So that's a nice length of that. And then another one that also has pink ones. Is that the same? I think it is, yes. Which is great. I can share some of that. And then this one's just got a really lovely little flower design. Again, that feels like a handmade lace, I think. And I think it's possibly has it been taken off something, because it does seem to be disintegrating a bit, which I absolutely adore. So that will probably go. I do want to do a lace collection book at some point, or a project where I can profile the different laces that I've got in my collection. Another lovely little trim with little hearts. I don't have anything like that. And then just another lovely bit of cotton. And then this one I would have definitely got, because it's, yeah, definitely handmade. Is this a bobbin lace or I think it's a bobbin lace or a tatting. Don't know. But how beautiful is that? And there's a decent quantity of that. And it's got these beautiful little bobbles on the surface as well. And then what's in here? A bundle of doilies, probably damaged ones, but I love when I see a little bundle. So yeah, that one's got a bit of staining on it, but we'll give it a wash. This one, that make a nice little like snowflakey Christmas design. Lovely little rose, and these are great for adding some more embroidery to. beautiful blue. Just a little one. Again, I'll probably put these ones in for a soak, particularly the ones that have a bit of staining on them. But again, I don't even mind the staining, and you can tea dye or you can colour them up with other things like ink tints, and these would just be lovely, or using it even in a little needlebook or something. Absolutely perfect. A bit of a collar, that's beautiful. Still got a few little stains on it. This little one, beautiful linen. And this one, again, lovely stitching, and yeah, the nice little green trim, and again, it makes a great surface to stitch on, but these definitely need to go in the soak basket. Another vintage lace, and it's not a colour that I've actually got in my collection, not at this sort of, with this sort of design, and it feels, yeah, don't know if it's a pure cotton, but it's not as sort of, yeah, synthetic-y feeling as some of the others. I think that's a beautiful design, and again, a lovely colour for my quilt, so I might put it with that. I thought this was very cute when I saw it on Mel's. Again, I didn't know exactly what size, but how lovely is that? So I think that would be beautiful to put in a little project pouch or something and have as a pin cushion, or it could actually go on my quilt, couldn't it? Because it almost looks like a little maze, and I've been to various mazes, or yeah, looks quite French as well. I might see if that finds a place on my quilt. And then this lovely trim, it's got some very old, you can tell the age by the sticky tape on the end. I will take that off. Where's my rubbish bag there? And there's plenty of this, and I just think it's such a lovely blue and red and white. It just is so good and really has that Frenchy vibe to it also. And then I've been wanting I don't have a darning mushroom, and I thought, yep, I might just start to collect some little darning mushrooms. I think they're very, very sweet little display pieces, so this will probably go out on my display table. And then there was this one which has Melbourne on it, and it's got a little crest. And what do we have inside? If I can open it. There we go. It's got some threads and some other bits and bobs, which I think I'd purchased these separately. So these are some secondhand gumnut yarns. So yeah, it's a great way to get beautiful sort of specialty threads, and Mel just sells them as bundles. So Kakunda hand dyed, which I've heard as a brand, and yeah, gumnut, and this one looks a very old label on it. Reminds me of some of the ones that Annie Claxton had in her amazing vintage thread haul. Let me just have let me see what I can see. I love these old labels. I save them if I can, so I'm just trying to unravel it carefully. Tested embroidery, Jazz, Pearsall and Co. It's called Rock Fast Dyes. So isn't that lovely? So I'm not sure how old that is. I have to do some research on that as well. And then there was a selection of little buttons. I think these buttons actually might have been in the tin. I can't remember, but I would have got it for the tin because I don't have a Melbourne tin. I'm going to have to read the writing because I'm assuming this might have gone with an institution or something. What does it say on the back? Oh, it says Dunklings, Melbourne, made in England. So Dunklings are, well, they were a jeweller's. So yeah, very intriguing. So definitely going to have to do some research. I probably shouldn't list, Dottie B. She's very good on the UK sort of vintage collections. But I'm not sure if Mac and Morgan, who, although they source goodies from France but sell them in Australia. But yeah, it's a very interesting little find. So I think I've taken enough of your time. The bag is empty. And thank you again to Denise for your lovely, lovely happy mail. That was an absolute thrill. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing my other non-Black Friday, Thrifty Thursday finds. And I do have a pile of other goodies, but I'll save them for another week. They're other goodies that I have bought myself as secondhand Christmas, because I want to keep Christmas entirely secondhand. So thank you, and I hope you have a lovely day or a lovely evening. Bye everyone.